Go all the way to Bangladesh, where there's a lot of chaos in that country. The government has imposed a nationwide curfew after protests turned violent, leading to over 100 people losing their life. That is the top story that we're tracking right now on Republic TV. And let's take you through all the details that we're learning of. Now, what we see, viewers, is that the protests over government jobs in Bangladesh have turned deadly, prompting the imposition of a nationwide curfew and the deployment of army to restore order. The curfew comes amid a telecommunication blackout that has left the country of 170 million cut off from the world. Bangladesh has announced the imposition of a curfew and the deployment of military forces after days of clashes and protests against government job quotas across the country. And we see that those visuals coming in on your screen of what is really happening. You can see that after deadly clashes, even 1,500 people have been injured. Now, the decision to impose a curfew comes hours after the police and security officials fired bullets and lobbed tear gas on protesters and banned all gatherings in the capital. The protesters, mostly students, have been holding protests in Dhaka and other cities against a system of reservation in public sector jobs, including that for the relatives of war heroes who fought for the country's independence from Pakistan in 1971. So that's a big update coming in, and even though Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has defended the quota system, saying that the veterans deserve the highest respect for their contributions to the war regardless of their political affiliation. And viewers, let's have a look at exactly what is happening in Bangladesh. Here's a report filed by our bureau, helping you understand what the event transpired as Bangladesh has now imposed a curfew. Take a look.
As anti-quota protests rage in Bangladesh, 39 people have been killed. The rage among students against the Sheikh Hasina government has not calmed yet, which led to a nationwide curfew. Meanwhile, as many Indians remain stranded in the neighboring country, the Indian High Commission issued an advisory amid the violent tensions. The Indian High Commission advised the Indian community members and students in Bangladesh to avoid travel and minimize movement outside their living premises due to current circumstances. Further, it offered multiple emergency numbers and 24-hour Indian assistance to around 7,000 Indians in Bangladesh as per the High Commission's website. Following this, at least 70 Indian students have been rescued and brought back to India through Meghalaya's Dauki integrated checkpost along the Meghalaya-Bangladesh border. The protests, which started over demands for reforms in the government job quota system for descendants of the 1971 Bangladesh war, have seen widespread clashes, including attacks on police and the burning of public property. In response to the escalating violence, Bangladeshi authorities have imposed a day-long ban on public rallies in Dhaka. Further, in Dhaka, authorities heightened the security measures in and around the Indian High Commission as violent clashes escalated. Meanwhile, a media center in Bangladesh has been set ablaze by the student protesters. The situation has led to a near-total internet blackout in the country, with significant impacts on communication and daily activities as the country remains in turmoil.
Let's go straight across to my colleague who's joining us from a Republic Bangla sister channel, Mayuk. Mayuk, if you could take our viewers through what the situation looks like in Bangladesh right now. After the government has imposed a nationwide curfew, is the situation under control?
Exactly, not yet. As you have already know that the military, the army, the Bangladesh army is enforced and in several parts of Bangladesh, specifically in Jashore, in Mymensingh, in Dhaka, and parts of rural Bangladesh, military is in action, and military deployments are there in each and every corners of the street. We just got a press conference from the military chief of Bangladesh where he said that they are doing everything to restore peace. But the fact is that in spite of the curfew, there are several instigations from pockets where students are being instigated to flock the streets. They are instigated to rush and go and meet at assemble at a particular point, and this becomes one of the biggest challenges.
ट्रीटमेंट के लिए मम्मी के साथ आया।
अच्छा
ट्रीटमेंट करने के लिए आया, पढ़ाई नहीं, मैं बिजनेस करती हूँ।
अच्छा, तो आप बांग्लादेश में रहते हैं मगर इंडिया मम्मी के
ट्रीटमेंट के लिए आया।
तो देश में अभी जो कहाँ से आ रहे हैं आप बांग्लादेश में?
पास में ही ठाकुरगांव जिला।
तो क्या देश का पूरा स्थिति कैसा है?
अभी बहुत प्रॉब्लम में है देश, बहुत तकलीफ में है।
अच्छा,
कोई खबर ही नहीं है, नेट नहीं चल रहा है ना, इसलिए क्या चल रहा है देश में पता नहीं है।
अच्छा
यही है।
ठीक है,
थैंक यू।
Well, Mayuk, you keep taking us through all the details because what are these protesters saying? They're saying that the system is discriminatory, and they want that there should be a merit-based system when it comes to these job quota. Just take us through what these protesters are saying, and are they being led by some kind of a leader, some political leader in Bangladesh?
Well, according to our sources, what we are getting in is it's a clear hand of foreign forces. That is what the Bangladesh government is saying. First of all, it was primarily a students' protest against the quota or the reservation system. But gradually, this entire protest movement has been hijacked by some shadow people who are actually trying to man this entire protest, create an anarchy, and this anarchy is being created. It's been manufactured in a style which we have seen in India also. And in time and again during the anti-CAA, anti-NRC protests, we have seen this kind of anarchy in several streets of India, specifically in Delhi and parts of Uttar Pradesh. And similar protests are happening in Bangladesh against the quota system, but primarily this movement was of the students, by the students. But now there are elements which are primarily anti-Indian forces who are joining in, and they are creating an atmosphere. There is a scene of anti-India waves across Bangladesh, which is really harmful for both the nations. But the fact is that Bangladesh government is aware of the facts. They are also believing that there must be some foreign hands, or specifically some foreign country who are actually funding, who are actually amplifying and trying to make this an issue of international stature. But right now, what we are getting in, the military is in every streets of Bangladesh. Right now, there is no specific pockets where live protests are happening. This is at around 9 a.m. I'm saying this, Bangladesh time 9:30. But in spite of the precautions that are being taken, there will be specific instigations, and most importantly, they will be trying to break the barricades and violate the curfew and do some kind of a protest. And today we are also keeping a close eye on Bangladesh.
All right, Mayuk, thank you for getting us with all those details. We'll be coming back to you to get an update of what is happening in Bangladesh after the government has now imposed a nationwide curfew.